Hi there, and welcome to Voice Class 101. I'm David Moyer. About 3 months ago, I said we were going to have 30 of these lessons of 30 minutes to 45 minutes each, and I was going to start with them the first week of December. However, things did change a bit. My wife took ill, and I had to have surgery on my leg. Just finished having a full left hip replacement. Now I'm back, and we're going to have our lesson. So we start with Voice 101, right from the beginning. You love to sing, that's great. So let's hear your voice. Now here's what you want to do. You want to record your voice if you can, so have another camera, something that you can do. If you don't, we'll do our best with what we have. So we start with simply Yawn, Sigh. This is a system that was taught by Luciano Pavarotti at the School of Juilliard many years ago. And Yawn, Sigh means not to have a big yawn or a sigh, no, but it does have to do with those two facets. Number one, in order to make sure you're singing what I call pure bel canto, you want to make sure that your head is speech level. You're looking straight ahead, that your throat or your bump, that part right there, your larynx, is comfortably low in a relaxed position. How do you check that? You put your pointer finger on top of the bump, you gulp, it comes back to that position. That's how it should stay. So, speech level, gulp, stays there. If you're not sure you can feel it there, then keep your finger there to help you be aware of that. Number three, there should be no redness in the face, no redness in the neck, no veins sticking out when you do this right, because that's called truly singing on the breath, which is the natural tensile strength of the vocal folds. Now we begin. We take a deep intercostal breath, as best as you can. If you don't know what that is, that means to breathe inward silently through the mouth, downward and outward, expanding all those muscles in the intercostal muscle set. That is in front of your belly, your abdomen, the sides, the back, and your glutes. I call it an FSBB, which means front, sides, back, and bottom. So I take a breath, then I put an M on the vowel oo, and I simply let it slide down from wherever it starts in my voice. So I check, make sure I have a little, make sure I have a little smile here and a little bit of a trumpet lip. Ooh. 3 times. Ooh. Ooh. If you're doing it right, you shouldn't feel like your head wants to go up or your neck wants to get tight. In fact, your neck should feel like Jell-O after you let it get hard in the refrigerator, kind of wobbles. That's what the neck muscles should feel like. Now inside the throat, the vocal bands are tight to different degrees depending on the pitches. So we've done our who, now we do he. Remember the lift and the little trumpet mouth. Hey! 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 Your mouth should not open any more than maybe a tiny little bit farther than it would be if I just asked you to simply release your jaw and let gravity do the rest. Example. You do not need a wide mouth opening to get power. It's a big mistake. It's taught by most of the voice teachers today, and it's backwards. What you want to do, if you're going to have an expanded sound, is you open up in the back of the mouth, in the throat, upper part of the throat, back of the mouth, you simply stretch that out. Now we're going to do, instead of who and he, we go to hey. 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 Notice my mouth is no more than about what my little finger would be in between my teeth. Okay? So now we continue. Hey. Next is ho. Ho. Most people automatically go down with the jaw to do a ho. Why? Because the system of projectional pronunciation, I mixed that up. The system of projectional pronunciation, vocal production, has been going incorrectly since about 1834 to 1836. What do we attribute it to? Quite honestly, to larger theaters and not having any other way of amplifying. So the coach would just say, well, open your mouth a little more, push harder with those muscles, front, sides, back, and bottom, FSBB, front, sides, back, and bottom. So they'd open wider instead of going, ho, they'd go, ho, to get a bigger sound. And to a point that worked, except it wasn't natural. We certainly don't talk like that. Hey, I'm going to tell you about how to sing well. Okay. No. And if you watch TV, there's a commercial with a lot of opera singers singing on it on different channels, and they sing exactly like that and speak exactly like that. That's not natural, and it doesn't have to be that way. I recently did a video about a vocal critique of Cesare Valletti, one of the last correct singers. Take a watch of that. Take a watch of it and a listen. And you'll see his mouth, most of the time it's pretty correct. Keep in mind it will be open wider than it should be because this has been going on in a wrong approach for about, golly, close to 200 years. It's a long time. So now we finish the O, now we do ha. Most people will immediately do no. Go up. Keep the lips in a trumpet shape, the cheeks up. Thus, ha, 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 ha. Now I've done all of that. Next, we want to take each of those vowels, put an M on the beginning of each vowel, and just sustain a sound somewhere in that slide. For example, I kept my lift, kept my larynx nice and low, naturally, didn't have any veins, no redness. I had sort of a trumpet mouth and that lift. I do it again, this time with he. You're hearing my voice wiggle. That's a vibrato. And a vibrato is a natural manifestation of a correctly produced sound, or at least partially correct. Doesn't stand to reason that it's completely correct. That takes a long time to develop. My voice teacher, Mr. Lyle Moore, who was one of the best voice teachers in the Northwest, possibly in the United States, he told me it takes 2 to 5 years to develop a voice professionally. And he was right. It actually took me about 7 years because I wanted to be a teacher, so I had to know everything about it. Now we continue. We did he, who and he. We did them with moo, me. Now we're going to do may. May. Remember, a good tone has the energy throughout our body of a dancer in action. That's what we should feel throughout our whole body, except the catch is The neck is like wiggly jello. Okay? Now I'm going to do ho and then ha. The mouth should be about the same. If it's more open, I'm incorrect. So I keep my lift, make sure my larynx is comfortably relaxed in its natural position. So I gulp and I sing. After yawn sighing, I will, in the middle of that somewhere, start to sing a sustained sound. Here we go with mo. Mo. Yep. And now ma. Ma. That's how you do it. Keep in mind, if you haven't watched any of the other videos, I trained correctly and I knew how to sing really well. And I won the Northwest Allied Arts Festival out of Spokane, Washington, which was basically about a 5-state part of Canada joined in too. And it was instrumentalists and vocalists. I actually won first place and received a scholarship to Eastern Washington State University. I didn't end up going there. I went to Gonzaga University and then finished at Whitworth College with 5 years to do a 4-year degree. But Mr. Lyle Moore transferred from Gonzaga University, where he began teaching me at 17 years of age in 1967, and I finished up with him at Whitworth College in 1973. Did I do well? Yes, I won that festival. I beat all the instrumentalists, all the vocalists, and then I proceeded to win my division on a show called Starlit Stairway out of Spokane, Washington. Really great show. I won my division. My 16 to 18-year-old, I think it was, and I won that, but I did not win first place. I came in for the finals, and I heard a boy from Canada singing. His name was Bobby Owens, I believe it was, and he was 12. When I heard him sing, I knew it. He had such a beautiful natural soprano voice. And I came in, I said, "You're going to win first place." Now, I've listened to everybody else and watched them practice. I'm going to win second. And that's exactly what happened. Sometimes you're not the best there is, but that's okay. As long as you fit into public performance, you have a place. Okay. Now we've done all that singing. Now we're going to do some 5-tone down with the same M. Okay? We did moo, me, may, mo, and ma. Now we're going to do ma, 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 ma. We'll start with me, but 5 tones down. We start on any pitch. I'm going to give you a pitch. I'll do one, then you do one. If you're a woman or you have a very high voice, much higher than mine, just sing where it's comfortable to sing. So it might be I'm singing moo, 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 moo. And maybe for you that would be moo, 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 which is fine. That doesn't matter as long as it's free. Remember, freely produced sound. Tone rides on the breath. We want to have what's called a sound that rides on the breath. So there should be breath in the tone, but there should never be a breathy tone. Okay? I'm going to do some of those pentatonics now. Pentatonic means 5 tones, and I'll do them with a major scale of 5 tones. Moo, 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 moo. Me, 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 me. May, 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 may. Make sure you're taking your breath silently, inward, downward, filling all the non-bony areas of the intercostals. If you're breathing right, you'll have expansion in the front of your belly, sides, back, and your bottom. FSBB. I can't emphasize that enough. And also, for all of those of you who are professionally trained and singing out in the public world, recording artists, whatever, Most of you sing correctly with the support of the intercostals. We call it diaphragm support. The diaphragm is an involuntary muscle which requires the abdominal muscles to basically wrap around it and push from underneath up on it so that it pushes the air of the lungs in a correct manner through the throat, with the throat being naturally tense and the neck being as loose as wiggly jello. Now, we continue. We did me. We did moo, me. I think I didn't do may. If I did, I'll do it again. May, 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 may. Take a breath. I'm out of breath. May. You do it. Or with me, however you want to do that. Then we do mo. Mo, 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 mo. And ma, 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 ma. If you've done these correctly, you don't have